Good afternoon, good evening. This is the Macro Ghost giving you the best TA and FA fundamental analysis content on the internet in under 10 minutes. I switched it to 10 minutes to give myself a little bit of a leeway here. There's a lot to get through. I understand most people want to show within 6 minutes. The attention spans are not good, but I'm going to give you content that you're going to want to sit through this entire show, this entire program for. I teased on my short videos about the BTC Dominance. BTC Dominance looks cooked. But what I want to do today is explain what BTC Dominance is and why people get it wrong. BTC Dominance, people are looking at this to nuke and for their altcoins to go absolutely berserk. That might happen. In 2017 here, altcoins went berserk. 2021, altcoins went berserk. The only difference here is supply and demand. The supply of altcoins is much greater. I understand there's like 70 zillion alts, but the top 100 alts are still going to get play, right? In my opinion. But what's changed is also demand. Is the retail demand just isn't there from what I see versus 2021 and 2017. And people don't know what to buy. There's too many memes, there's too many L2s, there's too many AIs. So what should we buy? You know, and as this goes down, what this means is that alts are relatively stronger than Bitcoin. Bitcoin's relatively stronger than alts. Alts are relatively stronger than Bitcoin. That doesn't necessarily mean price go up. Okay? What if in this realm Bitcoin goes down and alts go down less than Bitcoin? Now there are bounces in Bitcoin, and so when Bitcoin bounces, alts could bounce harder. But ultimately, Bitcoin is in a bear market. I have talked about that in the Gaussian channel link. I'm going to link it at the end. There's many videos I've done on the Gaussian channel. And when Bitcoin's in the Gaussian channel, this is the Gaussian channel right here. When Bitcoin is in the Gaussian channel on the weekly, it doesn't get out. So you're looking at a prolonged situation where Bitcoin stays in the Gaussian or goes out the floor of the Gaussian, which is even worse. But anyway, so Bitcoin could go down where alts go down less, or Bitcoin could bounce and alts go bouncing more. My job is to tell you that I don't think all alts are just going to moon. So I've picked a few alts for you guys to watch. I've picked 3 and then I've added the obvious one at the end that I can't recommend just because the price is mooned, but I will talk about it nonetheless because it is in the privacy realm. So let's get to it. First of all, the Fed funds is the probability of a Fed cut has decreased to 1 in 3. Not good for December, not good. That's why you're seeing markets kind of on the macro view. Macro markets are going down. Nvidia just had earnings. Nvidia was up after hours, and the S&P opened up, and Nvidia and the whole S&P decided to crash down. Why is that? Well, in my opinion, because markets are priced to perfection. Nvidia had a fantastic earnings, had a fantastic revenue, had fantastic growth numbers, and it was up after hours, and then it just gave it all back. Because if you're priced for perfection, if there's one thing that's wrong, the market's going to panic. If there's one thing that's off, and in this case, Nvidia, weakness in China was off, so the market didn't want it. Some of my picks on the short side, MSTZ, the inverse MicroStrategy is up. The NFXS, the inverse Netflix is up. The rest of my biotechs and stuff were down yesterday because of the down market. But these two, I have a substantial amount of money in, and they're doing very well. So I'm pretty much doing pretty well in this down market. Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk about before I got into the Bitcoin dominance and the alts that I like. If you're going to play the bounces on Bitcoin and you're going to play this to nuke, which is if Bitcoin bounces, alts will bounce harder. Alts won't necessarily moon like they did, but they will bounce. If you're going to play those bounces, you got to look for charts that are neutral. What does that mean? It means charts that are not at their high and not at their low, and actually coins that actually do something. Okay, so like BitTensor Tau, it's AI. It can ride the AI wave. It actually does something. It's a $2.8 billion cap. To me, that tells me that it's priced right. What does that mean? It means it's not a shit coin per se. It's not going to go to zero per se. And it could go 10x in a nice environment. If Bitcoin gives us that nice environment, it could go 3 to 10x. So, but you want this consolidation range so that when it does, there goes Tau. So that when it does break out, you're in early, okay? The next one is Aster, and it's a play on BNB. CZ has pumpology. Anything he touches turns to gold. This chart on the max, you see it's not at its highs. It's making kind of a rounded low, which is perfect. That's perfect. I mean, it could go to $10. You know, you never know. It's Aster, it's CZ. It's, again, priced right, 2.5 billion. Both of these 2.5 billion, that's right in my wheelhouse. I don't want to buy ADA at 30 billion. I don't want to buy Matic at 10 billion or DOT at 6 billion. Those are all bullshit. You know, I want to buy something new like Tau or Aster that has that pumpology. And the last one I want to talk about is Monero. Again, it's not at its highs, right? It's testing. It has this little cup, and now we're looking for a handle to be put in. It has this little cup, and it's a privacy coin. It's riding off the back of that. Fourth one I wanted to talk about is Zcash. Zcash I've been trying to short on Rollbit. I'm going to give you my link to Rollbit. Rollbit's a great site because I can bet on sports. I can bet on crypto futures. I don't like to use a casino because the odds are against me. But sports, I can tilt the odds in my favor, in crypto futures. If I want to go contrarian, if I want to, short the spikes, I could do that really easily here for like, you can put in a short for like 30 cents at 200x, so your risk is very, very low. I don't recommend gambling. I'm just saying if you want to go down that road, I'm going to have a link to Rollbit just because I love Rollbit. I used to do MXC, but they're too suspicious lately, and I don't want to recommend them. So Monero, so we're looking at Zcash, both quote-unquote privacy. I like Monero as the privacy better than Zcash, obviously because it hasn't moved yet. This is where you should have been buying Zcash if you believed in it, which I didn't. And that kind of resembles Monero. Monero could go way up. I've been trying to short Zcash here. It's a hard short. It has manipulation in there that can wipe out shorts. So I wouldn't advise it. I also wouldn't advise longing it unless it breaks this 700 on volume, on big volume. And then you've kind of missed this whole move, but at least you have something more of a pumpology with the tailwind at your back. So those are the three alts that I'm looking for in alts, this quote-unquote alt season that we're going to have. If Bitcoin dominance were to nuke like 2021, like 2017, it's not a guarantee, folks. There's way too many alts out there. There's not enough confidence, and we're looking at an 18.5-year real estate and equity cycle that's kind of coming to an end. People are trying to call the tops. They're not being able to, but the S&P is really pumped hard, and that's why I'm getting behind commodities, because commodities and the S&P kind of move in alternative cycles. So 20 years S&P, 20 years commodities, which is what I've talked about in another video I can link at the end of this dissertation that I have here. That's it. So watch this. This is very important. Watch non-farm payrolls, unemployment. These are all macro indicators that I use to get a pulse of the market, to say, okay, is the market healthy? Does the market have confidence? In my opinion, it doesn't. But there's still opportunity out there to make money. I'm going to be on the long side and the short side. I'm going to be on the volatility side. Michael Burry opened up shorts on Nvidia and a couple other stock shitcoins, and he made money on the shorts just because of the volatility. He made some money and he closed his fund out. So that's really it. Under 10 minutes, I think I've satisfied that. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and turn the notifications to all. There's no personalized. It defaults on personalized notifications. Turn them to all so you get my stuff front and center. You're not going to want to miss what I say. I have 20 years, 25 years experience since 18 years old in the market. I don't get it all right, but I do give you the unbiased opinion so that you guys can make up your own damn minds whether you want to buy something or not. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode, the next video.